Well, let's continue with question number 17. The demand for chocolate in Aruba is Q equal to 100 minus 2P, and the supply of Aruban chocolate producers is Q equal to 10 plus P. What is the deadweight loss if the Aruban government imposes a price floor of 20? Okay, I always tell you that we should confirm that the price floor or price ceiling or input quota, production quota are binding. Okay, so let's find the equilibrium between supply and demand, okay, without this policy to see if it's binding or not. Equilibrium without the price floor. Quantity demanded, 100 minus 2P equal to quantity supplied, 10 plus P. Well, 100 minus 10 is 90, P plus 2P is 3P, and then the equilibrium price is 30. So, if the government imposes a price floor of 20, it's not binding, okay? It's not binding. The government, it's doing like a stupid policy, so the question was the deadweight loss. It won't be any deadweight loss, okay? So the answer is D. No, the graph is not correct. Sorry, the graph is not correct. This line should be here, and this line should be here, and the price floor is from here to the upper part. Okay, so nothing changes. Okay, nothing changes. There's no deadweight loss and no change in producer surplus, consumer surplus, no change in anything. Which of the following groups suffers more the incidence of a tax increase in a market? Okay, I've told you many times, so directly is the group with the more inelastic demand. Okay, so if we look at these graphs, here the supply is more inelastic than the demand in the equilibrium point, so we can see that from the previous equilibrium price, the increase for consumers is not so much, but the decrease in price the producers receive is higher. Okay, so the producers lose more because they have a more inelastic supply. Okay, with more inelastic demand, like with cigarettes, no, we can see that the new price for consumers is much higher than the old equilibrium price without this policy. So and the producers, of course, they also lose, but they don't lose so much. Okay, well, 19th, which of the following policies is not binding? A price floor over the equilibrium price. The price floor over the equilibrium price, of course, is binding. I'm telling the market that it can't be such low price. It must be a certain price over that or higher. So, of course, it's binding. A production quota over the equilibrium quantity. Well, this is not binding. This is not binding, clearly. Okay. This is the situation. Well, now the graph is correct. The price floor of the equilibrium price it's binding because the price should be this, but the government sets at least this price, so it changes the situation. A production quota over the equilibrium quantity doesn't change anything, because if in this market this quantity is being exchanged and the government says, okay, you can't exchange more than this quantity, nothing changes. The market will continue exchanging the same quantity as before. Well, with the price setting below the equilibrium price, the market price will decrease. And of course it's binding, that policy. Well, I hope this 19th is easy for you, and you have learned something, because we don't have many exercises and situations of production quotas. Exam question: with the binding, the amount exchanged in the market will be the deficient level, and there will be an excess of in the market. Well, let's prove with these words here and see which one it works. With the binding price floor, the amount exchanged in the market will be less than before. Okay, let's see here. If a binding price floor is put in place like this, the amount exchange will be this one. Be careful, this one. The producers will want to sell this quantity. Maybe they produce it, but no one buys these quantities. This is in excess of supply, as we know. So we have that the binding price floor decreases, yeah, the amount exchange, and there will be an excess of supply. So A is correct. But be careful. Maybe B could be true, because look at answer number C. Yeah, both A and B are true. So with the binding price selling, so this situation, the amount exchanged in the market will be less than the efficient level. Yes, because with such a low price, consumers are very happy. They want, well, they are very happy. They shouldn't be, but maybe they are, when they listen to this policy, they are very happy. They think they will buy a lot of units of this good, but the producers say, oh no, I won't produce more than this quantity. So this will be in excess of demand. Okay, then the amount exchanged in the market will be less than the efficient level, and there will be an excess of demand in this market. So be careful, B is also true. So both A and B are true. This is a good question. Number 21. If a country opens to trade good X and it finds that the autarky price is less than the world price, well, think about China, okay? China and the clothes industry, for example. When China opened, maybe it found that the price in China was lower than the price in the rest of the world. So the country becomes an exporter, okay? The country will export good X. But be careful, because here it says all of the above. But B is true for sure. Yeah? The total surplus will increase. Yes. When we open to trade, the total surplus increases from the autarky situation. Okay, we know that the autarky situation is inefficient or inefficient. Okay, and it's created a deadwill loss compared with, for example, a free trade situation. So total surplus will increase. Then it should be D. Let's read C. The domestic producers will be better off. Of course, the domestic producers will be better off. Here we have the situation described. Okay, now the producers may sell many or much more units, because they are exported at such a big price. Okay, they are better off. Okay, so all this big triangle here, this white triangle, would be the deadwill loss in autarky comparing to free trade. Yeah? Okay, we don't see exports, but I wanted you to have a little idea, because it's very easy, and it's a pity we don't see it. Okay, so 22nd. Juan is responsible for his small country's economic policy, where the demand for T is Q equal to 100 minus P. and the supply of domestic tea producers is Q equal to 3P. International producers could introduce as much tea as domestic consumers demand at a price of 10. So 10 is the world price of tea, yeah? If he decided to impose an import quota to reduce the import by 1/3, take care here, sorry, what would the deadweight loss be? Okay, let's do the situation in free trade, okay? I want to let you at the beginning to read these calculations. Let's look at here, okay? If he decides to impose an import quota to reduce the imports by 1/3, so if the imports at the beginning, okay, I will let you look at here. If the imports at the beginning are 60, by 1/3 means that the imports are reduced by 1/3 of 60, so they are reduced by 20. So the new imports are 40. Yeah, the import quota is 40. Okay. We still can't know that 45 and 85 are these numbers, but we used this number 60 to show this. Okay, free trade. We need to know how many units are imported. Okay, at price 10, quantity demanded is 100 minus 10, quantity supplied is 3P, so 310. So 90 minus 30. 90 is the quantity demanded at such a low price. 30 is the quantity supplied by domestic producers at the world price. So imports are 60. Then, as I told you, the import quota is 40. Okay, we reduce imports by 1/3 of this, so by 20, and the imports now are 40. Now, if imports are 40, how do we calculate these imports? Always, not only in this case, by the difference between the demand and the supply. Okay, as I told you before, the imports are the excess of demand that foreign producers are able to supply us, okay, or to sell us. So the quantity demanded at price, we don't know which price, is 100 minus that price, yeah? Minus the supply is 3 times that unknown price. So 40 is equal to 100 minus 4 price after the import quota. Then 4 times the price after the import quota is 100 minus 40, that is 60. 60 divided by 4 is 15, yeah? 15. So the price will increase from 10 to 15, okay? Not due to a tariff, but due to this import quota policy. How much are now the quantity demanded by consumers and the quantity supplied by domestic producers? Okay, the demand is 100 minus P, so 100 minus 15 is 85. The supply is 3 times 15, so 45. Then the imports, we can confirm that are 40, okay? The question was the deadweight loss. Okay, the deadweight loss is this area formed by two little triangles and this rectangle, yeah? So this one is 45 minus 30 times 5, yeah, divided by 2. This area is 40 here, yeah, 85 minus 45 times 15 minus 10, 5, plus this area that is 90 minus 85 times 15 minus 10 is the height, okay, divided by 2, of course. Then if we do these calculations, the deadweight loss is 250. So we mark B. Well, when the government sets a price floor higher than the equilibrium price, the consumers be careful. This is a very good question. Well, let's answer it with a graph. Okay. Well, here I've put you two situations. Okay. The first situation, it's imposed a price floor over the equilibrium price, so binding but not too high. Here it's put in place a price floor very high. So as we can see, comparing with the efficient situation, okay, the consumers have a consumer surplus lower than the level before, okay, and here of course, so consumers are worse off for sure. So maybe is A, B, or C. Yeah? But what happens with producers? Producers, before they earn from here to the down part, so over the supply, and now they earn this blue area, and here they earn this blue area, the area below the price received and over the supply. Here we can see that they lose this little triangle, here they lose this big triangle, and here they win this area from here to the price, because they sell less quantity but they sell it more expensive. So here it seems they are better off, but here they are clearly worse off, because even if they sell these units very expensively, very expensive, they sell few units. Okay, so be careful. We can't determine if producers are worse off or better off. Okay, so clearly this is a very good question. Okay, we will leave here and make a little break.